We closed a chapter of our Marco Polo Society last year, and many of you were in the room when this happened, with the incredible sale of the Marco Polo number 100 membership with an astonishing $1 million bid. Last night, those of you with us saw that we officially launched our Keep Climbing campaign and the new Mountain Royalty, Legends, and Pinnacle Societies. To recognize the Magnificent 10, the Marco Polo Society number 110, and to recognize new Mountain Royalty, Pinnacle Society, and Legend Society members, I'd like to invite on stage our Development Director, Paige Colver.
It's nothing like running in heels all day. Oh man, Saturday night, it's great to be here with you folks. We had such a phenomenal time tonight at the Keep Climbing reception, where we celebrated our 100 founding Marco Polo Society members, as well as the newest members, as Grace said, of our Keep Climbing campaign, the Mountain Royalty, Legends, and Pinnacle Society. I think we might have a photo from that reception tonight with all of our, there we go, that's the beautiful people, that's a great photo. And that's who we want to recognize tonight. However, before we recognize those new members, it would be an egregious mistake on my part not to take us back, as Gray was kind of mentioning, to that night, Saturday evening, 1 year ago. We came into the grand finale banquet last year with 99 members and thought, hey, it might be fun to, have a little fun and auction off that 100 membership on Saturday night. And by the way, put every single penny into our endowment fund. I remember being asked a couple days before by the Board of Trustees in a meeting, and they said, I told this story earlier, they said, hey, Paige, how much do you think we could get for that number 100 spot? I thought, I don't know, 150, 175. Naive me, of course, painfully underestimating the generosity of our donors, because by the time we had walked from the Marco Polo Society reception last year into this banquet hall for the grand finale banquet, 10 of our existing members had conspired to blow the roof off of the Marco Polo Society campaign by bidding, as Grace said, a whopping and historical $1 million for a single item. Pretty incredible. In the flurry of grand finale banquets, as they go, it's a frenzy. We did not have time enough last year to properly recognize those folks. So at this time, in front of Wild Sheep Foundation family, I want to again recognize the following. If you hear your name, when you hear your name, please stand up and be recognized. I see you looking at me, Jeff. You're first on the list. Jeff and Jan Damaski. Kevin and Janine Rinke. Charles Heron. Dennis Dale. La Palmosa. Jerry and Amy Brenner. Kevin and Tuesday Small. Doug and Shelley Sayer. Richard and Linda Murphy. And the Olmsted family. Round of applause, $1 million to the endowment fund in 30 seconds. Please stay standing. Don't sit down just yet. I'm not done with you. You catapulted the Wild Sheep Foundation into an exciting future, along with your peers. Would the remaining Marco Polo Society members please stand and be recognized for paving the way for a very, very exciting time for the Wild Sheep Foundation. 100 members, over $11 million to the foundation, folks. That, to me, deserves a standing ovation if I ever heard of it. You bet. You bet. Yes. Incredible. Thank you all so much for your leadership and your generosity. My goodness, we could not do it without you. By the way, I failed to mention this earlier at the reception. There's a beautiful Marco Polo Society perpetual bronze that's in the front of the banquet room. And I have to really quickly give a sidebar shout out to our volunteers. That sucker weighs about 75 pounds. And they hauled it to 3 different locations for me today. So big round of applause for our volunteers. My goodness. They told me, they thought I was going to do it, and I said, I'm wearing heels. Sorry. And like I said, folks, this launched us into the what's next for the Wild Sheep Foundation. We have some great leaders, some idea folks who said, hey, let's just keep climbing. We liked the idea of that. And so now, I would like to recognize our new premier donors jumping headfirst into our Keep Climbing campaign, where we will not only continue to break records for wild sheep today, but with an eye for the future, we plan to faithfully put 33% of every single new dollar into the endowment fund so that we can do this great work forever. At this time, Mountain Royalty Society Ruby member Zach and Amber Higgins committing to $125,000 to the Wild Sheep Foundation. Please stand and be recognized. Sadly, not in attendance with us, I don't believe, David Reed. Hank Ratz, please stand and be recognized. I know where he's sitting because he's at my table right over there. And stay standing, please, stay standing. We all know and love this guy. Derek and his lovely daughter, Harbor Blake, signed up to be Ruby members. Heck yeah. Mountain Royalty Society Emerald level, $150,000 to the Wild Sheep Foundation. Mike Burrell, please stand. Wayne and Denise Lennington. Wendy and Peter Birchfield. Next, we have our Mountain Royalty Society Diamond members. Matt Tomseth, I know you're in the room. Mike Snyder. Terry Rathert. And this is what I love about this group of people. We have our Legends Society, which is $250,000. We didn't have a Legends Society member as we walked into the Marco Polo, the Keep Climbing reception tonight. By the time we left, we had one. So at $250,000, our very first Legends Society member, Gary and Jude Romaine. Thank you so much. And a couple of familiar names. You've heard them recognized a bit already this week. Founding Pinnacle Society members Lee and Penny Anderson and Tim and Ruth Vanderweide with a commitment of more than $500,000. Thank you all so much. Round of applause for these founding members.